everybody, I hope that you're all doing well. The first card that we're starting off with is Three of Wands. When we have Three of Wands, we can be thinking about the future, trying to figure out like what the next steps are going to be, what things are going to look like. It can also be a time where you're doing some sort of review of the progress that you've made. After Three of Wands, we have Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is a card of movement and rapid movement at that. Usually when nothing is getting in our way and we are able to proceed in the direction that we want to proceed within. So maybe at this point you feel like something is moving rather quickly. The next card after that is Seven of Pentacles. So this can be really giving a lot of time and energy to something that you have going on. It can also be a time when you're doing some sort of like review here and wanting to check in about that as well. With Three of Wands, it's going to be connected with like something that you've had going on that's now at a point of like being able to progress further, and you can really want to expand at this point and you can want to move forward, but it feels like there's a need for you to make sure that you're checking in about it, and maybe even that you like where things are going, if things are going to continue. I am seeing a Four of Cups here, so there can be something going on here where you're looking at things and maybe not feeling the best about it. I'm not seeing this be a definitive feeling. I'm seeing it be more so like this is creating room for me to kind of like speculate and think about things and review things, because maybe this isn't what I thought I was going to feel, or something is going on that I'm feeling that makes it like worth maybe reviewing now at this point. You know, like if you feel happy about things and things are good, you don't really feel like you need to check in, or you do quickly and then you continue. This feels like something's going on that feels like I actually need to take a look at this and I need to review this and I need to check in about this and see what's going on with it. So you can just be at that point where you feel like this is something that kind of like needs to happen now. I mean, it can even be a point in time. Now, this isn't something new. I feel like I need to clarify that. This isn't just something new that you have going on. This is something that you've had going on for like a while, actually. And at this point, you are taking a look at things. And it even feels like the best way for me to describe this is like you've had a process that's been going on and you can be thinking about where to kind of like expand from here. Like, let's say, for example, you're at a company, okay, and you've been kind of like moving up the ladder. You can be at this point where you're reviewing things and looking around, and there's an opportunity for you to expand and kind of take the next steps here, but there can be something when you check in where you're like, I don't know that I want to do that. I don't really know how I'm feeling about continuing to invest in this. So it's something that it's been ongoing for you, and now it feels like, well, what's the next step and where are things going to go? It's like you're a year in, you're 3 years in, you're like 3 moves up the ladder, like whatever it is for you. And at this point, it feels like time for the next step of the process. And yeah, this feels like I'm looking in at things, I'm checking in, and there's something about this that I don't know if I want to keep doing this. That can even be maybe the feeling that's had here. Like maybe it's a ladder that you don't want to climb anymore. If that's the case, I'm seeing you keep this very much to yourself. Like you can not be wanting to continue doing this. There's something going on here where you cannot, yeah, this feels like not wanting something. But I get that this has not been said out loud. This can be something that you know and you're feeling within you. And these are your real feelings about it, but you can be very much keeping it to yourself. You know, it's like maybe you get offered a promotion or something and you're looking at it and you're like, I don't really want that. And it doesn't have to be a job situation. Like this can be a relationship, something that's going on here. You're looking at things and being like, I have plans for myself and where I see myself, and I don't know if like being part of this and like going in that way, on that, involved in that trajectory, I don't know that I want that. So you can be looking at things and saying, I think the future is going to take me in this direction, and I'm not really feeling that right now. But I do get this being kind of like a private thought that you're having here. I'm not really seeing this be something that you've been, the word verbose is coming through. I'm not seeing this be something that you're being like loud about. You may decide to end things. I am seeing a 10 of Swords here. Maybe you're going to decide to call it quits, possibly. But that can also be something that you're not really thrilled about either. I wonder if you're feeling that too. Like maybe neither option. It's like, if you don't want to go in that direction, are you going to stop this then? But then there's this, like, I don't know that I even want to do that. It feels like I don't want to let it go, but I don't want to continue simultaneously. It has to go deeper than that. That can't be. I feel like we're at a very surface level. There's no way that it's going to be both of those things. This is a Tower. How about that? And we have Hermit on the bottom of the deck. So private review of what it is that you're feeling, what's going on. This feels like the moment when the future that you thought was gonna happen, maybe like given the situation that you were in, it all comes crumbling down because it doesn't feel in alignment, and that doesn't feel real for you anymore. Starting with Three of Wands, ending with the Tower. Three of Wands is like where I think that I'm going, or where I thought that I was going, and the Tower can be deconstructing that because that's not the future that you want. But I am definitely getting this thing of like, I don't think that you've really said this out loud. This feels more privately, you being in this space, and there can be something even about this happening that makes you want to cling to things. You know, when you get that feeling of like, I don't know that I want to keep doing this anymore, and I don't know that I'm like really happy with this. Sometimes it puts us into a space where rather than releasing, our reflex can be to squeeze it a little bit more tightly. Maybe that's something that you're feeling a little bit here. This can maybe like push you into, it feels like some weird opposite thing that happens where you may actually like not want to be involved in this, and for some reason your ego may be like, let's just cling to it even more tightly. It's like an overcompensation is kind of what this feels like to me. It's strange because I am seeing this thing of like not wanting to let go of this, but I'm also seeing this thing of you don't feel happy with it. Like you're not really feeling this. So why would we be holding on? I don't think that you're going to. I think that you maybe were trying to. This thing about like overcompensation again. It's like when you don't like something and you're like giving it lots of compliments, like, yeah, I love it so much. It feels kind of like slipping into that a little bit here, but then having the Tower, I actually think that you're going to be broken out of this. But I do get this sense of like, you could have felt initially like, I don't care how I feel about this. Even if I don't want this anymore, I'm still going to hold on to it a little bit here. But now because of the Tower being here, I think that something is happening to kind of get you off the hook a little bit. It seems like that's what's taking place now. I wonder if this is going to bring you into some sort of fresh start. Because when you check in and when you think about things, this really is how you feel. And as much as you may have wanted to stick to the plan, it feels like when you tune in, something has like shifted for you, or like you're seeing the situation differently. and now you don't really want to do that anymore. But there can still be this part of you that like doesn't really want to end things, but then there's this part of you that's like, maybe I don't really want to do that, but I feel like I have to do that. Because if you don't want to be on the train anymore, you're going to have to get off here. But there can be a part of you that's like, you know, it's going to be a process to sort of get off and like to do that for whatever reason. And maybe you were like wanting to spend some more time really thinking about that before, but this feels just like hesitance now at this point. You know what you want, you know what you don't want. It's time to get off of the train if you don't want to be going in that direction anymore. But I think this can feel like, if you get off the train, it's like, what's going to happen then? And I'm seeing you be kind of in that moment where it's like, you know that you don't want to be on the train anymore. And then you get off and you're like, where am I? It feels kind of like that. Because before, when you were on the train, even if you didn't want to go where it was taking you, at least you knew where it was taking you. And now at this point, to be getting off of it, because that's what you really want. You want to get off of the train. If you were to do that, if you are to do that, feels like then what? And you don't really know, but you can also feel like it's what you have to do. Like if you're going to be staying true to yourself here, it's what must be done. But I'm seeing something kind of go up in smoke here. Maybe there's been a part of you that's been thinking about maybe staying on the train regardless, even though you know you don't want to be on it anymore. That may have been a consideration here with this. Ending with the Tower, I don't know that that's really going to stick. I feel like you're going to step off. See, you like don't like something that's been happening. Like, I don't like what's happening anymore. Okay. This makes sense. You can feel that something doesn't work. But I get this thing again of you sort of like being quiet about it. Like you've known this and you've clocked it, but I'm getting this like more so you keeping it to yourself, but you have assessed this is very much what it seems like. Yeah, but this idea of like getting off of the train then, which this is really what it comes down to. You don't want to be on the train anymore. You're going to have to get off of the train if you are going to honor truly the way that you feel and what you've assessed and really trusting yourself. At the same time, there can be this thing of like, I'm getting off the train and I feel like that puts me in the middle of nowhere and I don't know what's going to happen and I don't feel great about that. But at the same time, you can feel like you're left with no other option, like no other viable option really. It's like, what are you going to do? You're going to stay somewhere that you don't want to be anymore, and you know that you don't want to be anymore, and you know that it doesn't work just because that may be like, you know where it's going, but it's like, whether you know where something's going or you don't, if you know that you don't want to be there, what are you going to do? You're just going to stay there? That doesn't really make sense. Maybe for some of you too, you don't want to like lose the connection that you have with the train. Maybe you feel very attached to it. That can be something as well. What this means is that for some of you, like if there's a person, it can be like a person, a place, a thing. It can really be whatever. Like this could even be like a job or something like that. Whatever it may, or relationship, whatever it may be, there can be this part of you that knows if you're going to get off the train, you're going to have to disconnect with whoever, whatever is going to be staying on the train, because this is where the timeline is going to split. Like you're going to go in a different direction, and there can be a part of you that's like feeling very attached and like not wanting to disconnect. It's like you and this person, you're on a train together and you guys like wanted to be on that train together and you wanted to go to that destination. Now something has happened and you recognize, I don't want to be on the train anymore. And you're gonna get off if you'll honor the way that you really feel here and stay true to yourself. But that person, it feels like they're gonna be staying on that train. it doesn't seem like they're going to be coming with you. So there can be something about that of like not wanting to disconnect. But at the same time, you can feel like it would be very wrong for you to stay, like wrong for you within your life to stay there when you know that you're meant to be getting off of the train here. It's like maybe you didn't expect this to be your stop, but you know in your heart that it is your stop and you need to get off of the train, but it's not that person's stop yet anyway. So they're gonna have to keep going wherever they're going. This, having Tower go back in with Eight of Cups, there may be something very abrupt and unexpected about this, or it can just feel like it can feel abrupt, or it can feel like I wasn't planning for this and I did not expect this, but now this thing is happening. Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing be going on. Interesting. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.